So this is Gordon Ryan rolling with the much smaller Ethan Krallinston. I think he's like a featherweight or something. Very small guy. Obviously, Gordon's massive. Just first thing, it just emphasises a point I've tried to make to a lot of you. He's wrong technically. He's not. Gordon could smash everyone in this room. We all know that. But again, he's allowing people to get him in bad positions, which allow him to train these positions. Okay, he doesn't just smash everyone. If he wanted to just smash everybody, he'd never really have the opportunity to kind of realistically train. For instance, here his armbar escapes. Okay, because no one would ever get him to an armbar position. Okay, so first things, what we're looking at here. Okay, so Krallinston doesn't have a traditional armbar with both legs over the body. Which is what allows the escape from here. Okay, so I mean normally it'd be a leg over the head, a leg over the body. It would keep Gordon's back on the floor. It would prevent it from sitting up with the head and all this kind of stuff. Okay, there's kind of two ways of escaping an armbar, or common ways of escaping an armbar in this circumstance. One is a traditional armbar, that is. Okay. So one is you would, for instance, push the leg off the head in this direction. So both legs are over the body, and this would allow you then to sit up here and then start to stack. Okay, the other one, which is what he does here, is he pushes both of the legs in this direction. Okay, so both legs are above the head here. Now, it's still quite hard to sit up normally, but what it allows you to do is it allows you to move the body around and put yourself kind of parallel next to the person, okay, which again, you'll see here kind of breaks this alignment on the armbar here. Okay, if he wanted to finish it from this angle, for instance here, okay, the shoulder joint is obviously here, the humerus is here, elbow joint is here. If he wants to finish this, rather than kind of keeping in line with his body here, what he would then have to do is have to use the hip here as a fulcrum, and he would be, again with the arm here, he'd be looking to then push this down over the hip bone here in the direction. Okay, so the alignment would be in this direction here, whereas his body is here. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so look at the actual escape. Okay, this is obviously he's trying to push the leg. You've got Ethan will be flaring this knee very kind of hard into his shoulder and the head to try and prevent him walking around and sitting up. But this is what I'm interested in here. Okay, so it gets to the point where he starts to walk it around and he starts to escape here, but he knows he's still in danger. At this point, he's in danger. Okay, because again we have this alignment here. Okay, he's starting to put it over the fulcrum of the hip here rather than the kind of the pubic bone here, and he's starting to apply pressure here. So Gordon stops clearing the legs at this point. Okay, because at this point here, clearing legs really isn't going to do much good. He's still going to get that armbar and finish it. So what he starts to do is he starts to hand fight. Okay, now the beauty of coming around in this direction and sort of laying next to the person is it gives you the reach to start to hand fight. Okay, now it's going to be very difficult for Ethan to control that arm and the end of the lever with one arm, again without two hands here. So you have him basically stripping the hands here. Okay, this is something that everyone, well, nowadays most people know is a very important kind of final phase defense to things like heel hooks. The person's locked in and they're starting to heel hook, and you're going to struggle to get out. What happens is you start to go to the end of the lever and you start trying to break the connection at the end of the lever. You start to hand fight. This is exactly what Gordon is doing here. He clears one arm, he goes back to the other one, and he starts to clear this arm. Obviously, Ethan is not stupid, so his other arm goes back to the wrist, and he still has the wrist control here, but it isn't that strong. And it gets to a point now where there's a little bit of space. It's a bad position here as he falls back in, but he can turn the wrist enough and he can start to come up and escape the position. Okay, so the hand fighting, what it kind of does is it's like a delaying tactic. Okay, it gives him time to basically start to find the angle to come out and escape the position. And if we look at it, actually at this point we stopped here. This is quite an interesting one. So Gordon now knows that he's relatively safe. Okay, because if we look at the angle of Ethan's body is facing in this direction, we have the elbow joint here, and again the kind of the angle of the curl is going to be in this direction here. So in order for Ethan to finish this, what he actually has to do is he has to generate power going down in this direction here. Okay, and again, there's a lot of kind of this is an incongruent angle here. There's no way this is going to work. Okay, he's kind of would have to almost use both hands to push down to here. So Gordon knows that he's escaped the position now because he's given up all this space on this far side. Okay, yeah, hand fight clears it, and again, this is nice as well because again, it's chaining together the movements and the attacks. So as soon as he escapes the armbar here, he knows he's kind of got him at this point. He can start the traditional stack just to clear it fully, but it's at this point here. He has the hips off the floor here, so he has back exposure. Obviously, there's back exposure here. He starts to reach the far side for the underhook here. He establishes the underhook on the far side here. He establishes the overhook on the far side here, and he starts to pull back and goes for, okay, that's an illegal grip there, actually. That's quite interesting. He's got his hand in the rash guard. That shouldn't be there. And it's a very simple back take from there, okay? We'll just look it through once more, but again, it's that the key thing for me is obviously Gordon is breaking the angles and the orientation of the armbar, which is a constant kind of ongoing readjustment that you have to do against very, very good people anyway. But it's this hand fighting that he incorporates into it, which again a lot of people don't do. They don't. When you clear the legs over the head, you actually can reach to start to hand fight a little bit. And Gordon obviously has a length advantage here because he's a lot taller than Ethan. But he begins to hand fight. If you break the connection with the end of the lever, there's going to be no armbar. That's how it works. So